Can I ask some questions on the petroleum resource rent tax? Yep. So I think in last estimates I asked for what the total carry forward tax credits were, and your answer was about $187 billion. What's the current value of the PRRT credits? Or what's your forecast over the forward estimates period?
Senator, I'd have to take the specific number on notice. You would expect, so we do produce this number in the annual report, the number of losses carried forward. I don't have it immediately to hand, what the carry forward balance of effectively carry forward losses is at the moment.
Sorry, could you remind me when that annual report was published or is going to be published?
Oh, so the annual report will be published later this month. Senator.
Later this month, okay. But you could, you would have those numbers done though.
So the $187 billion was the number reported in last year's annual report.
Could I ask if it's anticipated that the value of credits will increase over the near term due to the uplifted rates attached to these PRRT credits? Will the credits continue to accumulate faster than they're used?
So that's could I say that's a hard question to answer in the abstract. I would say that you would expect, because there's I suppose still been continued investment, that it would tend to increase. There's the uplift factor that would increase it. On the other hand, some of these projects are now producing gas, and so as gas revenues start coming in, that starts eating into that carry forward balance.
And then equally, that depends on the price of the gas and the price of the oil. So there's a lot of moving parts here.
And also, the highest uplift, I think it's 15% above bank bill rate. It's about 18%.
18%.
It's 15% above a benchmark. That was on exploration, and probably there's more development than exploration right now, and I think the development losses are only uplifted at 5% above whatever the bank bill rate is.
Just as a matter of interest, the BP that recently pulled out of the Great Australian Bight have spent over $1 billion on oil exploration. Will that be subject to will they be able to claim on that?
So, Senator, obviously I don't want to comment on individual taxpayer, but exploration expenditure is deductible under the PRRT, and exploration expenditure is generally transferable between projects.
So they may be able to transfer it to some of the northwest projects that are starting up.
Yes, so if somebody had a failed exploration project but had a separate project which was successful, there would potentially be the ability to transfer the exploration losses from the failed project to offset the PRRT on the successful project.
Okay, so are you able to do an estimate of how long, or how long does the ATO anticipate it will take for the oil and gas industry to use the existing PRRT credits and begin paying?
Senator, I think that's probably a question for Revenue Group again, because it's talking about revenue estimates and rates of take-up and economic parameters, so it's probably a question best addressed to them.
Which is why in the past we had Revenue Group and ATO appear at the same time to avoid this sort of issue.
Do you want to bring them forward, Senator Cormann? Do you want to bring them forward so I can ask these questions? Or
I'm relaxed. I mean, I'm in the hands of the committee.
Well, we had Revenue Group scheduled for immediately after.
In the past, in the committee, we've had the ATO and the Revenue Group appear at the same time, so that
just
when you straddle administration and policy.
Could I ask a more general policy question then? Is there any other industries that get these kind of concessions?
So, Senator, can I, on that, there aren't many industries which have a resource rent tax. So this is in addition to income tax. And so resource rent tax, by its very nature, is a little bit different from an income tax, which is a profits tax. This is meant to be a super profits tax, effectively.
I understand the difference, but just why I use the word incentives. Like,
there's nowhere that gets an equivalent uplift of losses like that.
No.
That was a very specific incentive. It's been around for a long time, and it was to encourage exploration. And one can debate the rate, but that's what it is, and that's what it's been for quite a while.
That's true. And Mr. Jordan, you probably understand.
As a country, on the back of that,
Yep.
we've been able to attract massive capital investment into projects like the Gorgon project and the like, which is obviously delivering significant benefits to our economy and contributing to jobs and so on. So,
Senator Cormann, are you aware that the Western Australian Treasurer, and do you agree with him when he said it's going to be at least 2 decades before Gorgon pays any tax?
I'm not going to speculate. Before they pay any tax, I wouldn't think that that's right. But
any PRRT revenue?
As has just been indicated to you, the PRRT is designed, and it was designed by the Hawke government from memory, with Paul Keating as Treasurer, so it's been around for a long time. It was designed as a super profits tax at the time. Obviously, there is company tax on profits, which is also payable.
Could you confirm, Mr. Jordan, that only 5% of oil and gas projects actually pay the PRRT? Do you have?
I don't know that figure.
So, Senator, I would say that very few projects at this stage are paying PRRT.
Yep.
But you have to, it takes a while, because you have, in oil and gas projects, you have large upfront expenditure. You only start, even if you disregarded the uplift, you have to have produced enough oil or gas to have recouped all of your expenditure before you start paying PRRT.
Will the 18% uplift each year, not even the Sydney property market's that hot, will that be reviewed? Has there been any discussion papers or any advice provided to government on reviewing?
Again, that'll be a question for the Revenue Group. Senator, sorry, because it goes to a question of policy.
For example, it was reported, and I'll give you the article afterwards, that over a comparable period, Australian oil and gas projects paid about 800 million in PRRT versus Gulf states that paid 26, 27 billion over comparable periods. It's a significant matter of public interest and importance at the moment, this issue.
I saw that media article, but as the Minister said, it is a design feature that of the tax that has been around for many decades. And given the time between the very initial start of exploration to the actual production of the product, oil or gas, you do have that compounding. It's a compounding amount, and as was reported in our last year's annual report, there was a figure there of 187 billion of carry forward, and we'll be reporting, I think, very shortly our next annual report.
I think that's from tax stats, so
that's from
it'll be a little bit later.
Be a little bit later. So
I understand the PRRT's been around for some time, Mr. Jordan, but my understanding was the provisions, including the 150% uplift, was brought in under Labor in 2004 under Martin Ferguson. Is that your understanding?
I don't.
Okay. Could I ask perhaps a question on? Let's see if I can find it.
Senator Whish-Wilson, is there any questions that you can provide on notice?
Oh, I've got lots I can provide on notice.
I know, but we've got less than half an hour. I've got three questions in the next half hour.
Okay. Could you come back to me, Chair? Is that?
Yes, we can come back to you.
Okay.
Thank you, Senator Whish-Wilson. Senator Lane.